Hi students, how are you all? Welcome in our SS lecture and we have chapter 9 Human Environment. In this chapter, we'll see about different kind of that settlements of human beings. You know when that many years ago, over the years, man has evolved from a nomadic life to a settled life. Man's life changed from the nomadic life to the settled life. In earlier time, man was moving from one place to another place in search of food, water, and shelter. In short, man was living nomadic life, moving here and there in search of food, water, and shelter. Nowadays, they settle at one place and they settle in rural areas and urban areas. So, the earlier men learned to make houses, they learned to live in houses, learned to grow crops, rare animals, and then the discovery of fire and discovery of that will happen, means of transport, communication, this all came. Nowadays, it is all things are present. So he has also developed that means of transport, communications, and that means of transport and everything. So that man's earlier man was moving from one place to another place. That life changed and that human beings settle at one place. That is called that settlement. That human settlement is there. It is two kind of settlements. First is that it is a rural settlements and urban settlements. Men learn to live in the houses and then he settled at one place nearby the water bodies, valleys, and on mountains and nearby the rivers, and they settled in some towns, cities, and in villages. So they learn to make house, to live in home. They invented wheels, invention of fire. It makes a remarkable change in the life of human. So this all happened. So now we'll see about settlement. You know that early men settle at one place. So that is called that settlement. Earlier time, man was there, that settlement were there. Early man's settlement was there, that trees, caves, and they were living everywhere. So places where people settlement. Settlement means places where people build their houses and they live in community and they are called that settlement. Settlement means people live in houses and in community it is called that settlement. The natural settlement for that earlier humans, they were living in the trees, caves and everywhere. So these all that settlements were temporary. Then time over, then they learned to make that permanent settlement near the river, water bodies, and near the lakes and ponds. And they learn to grow crops, learn to domesticate animals, and they settle at one place. In short, they settle at one place. So this is called that settlement. That human beings started living at one place. That is called settlement. These settlements were near the rivers, valleys, water bodies, and manufacturing and trade also developed by human beings. Then commerce started and flourished, larger settlement happened, then change into towns. First of all, that settlement of human beings were very small near the river and water bodies. Then that small settlement changed into small villages changed into big villages, then big villages settlement change into small towns change into the big towns into small cities, and then big cities that settlement happened. So the cities came into existence. Settlements can be divided into two categories: rural settlement and urban settlement. Rural settlement and urban settlement both are very different from each other. In rural settlement, less community and less people will be there, and in urban settlement, more people and many communities are living in the urban settlement. So both are different from each other. The term that settlement happened, that is the term is there, is a size, and the settlement is depend on the size, population, density, occupations, and amenities are available. So despite that many differences that depends on each other. Villages provide that labors and food to the town. Villages are there; they provide food and that labor to the town and cities, and the towns they provide that educational and medical facilities, employment facilities to the rural areas. So, in short, rural and that towns both depend on each other. Rural areas provide that provide villages, in short they provide labors and food to the town, and towns and cities they provide that facilities like medical facilities, employment, education. These all facilities they provide to village. Rural settlement is there. The rural settlement are small and with a less population, because in a rural area less people are living. Mostly people are connected with the occupation of agriculture, and there is less people in villages. Only villages where people were mainly associated with the agriculture. But in modern days, you can see many occupations are there in a village also, and they are engaged in occupations like fishing, foresting, and mining, crockery, craft work, animal rearing, and many other occupations. The village people are nowadays related. They are related with many occupations nowadays. In earlier time, that the village people, there were less community and mostly connected with the occupation of agriculture only. But nowadays they are connected with many occupations. Rural settlements are found in different that parts, and based on the way the houses are built in them. The rural settlement, they are based on the houses they build. How they build their houses, in which pattern and where they build houses, that rural settlement is there. It is depend on them. So, compact. In a compact settlement, houses are built close to each other. The houses are built close to each other. In compact settlement, you can see in compact settlement, houses are built close to each other. It's a narrow that you can say streets or such settlements developed mostly in the nearby the rivers or valleys and fertile plains. So compact settlement houses are built closely, and these settlements you can see nearby the river or water bodies or near on the plains. Scattered, that can same with scattered settlement. In scattered settlements, houses or individual that farmhouses are there, they are built far from each other. They are built far from each other and located away from each other. They are not very close. They are located very away from each other and not close. So these developments are there that mostly in the plateaus or forest and hilly areas. So houses are not built close to each other. They are very far from each other. Linear settlement is there. Next, linear settlement. In linear settlement, houses built in a straight line next to the roads, rivers, or coast or canal or railway track. Houses are built in a straight line. In a linear settlement, houses are built in a straight line, like along with the rivers, coastlines, canals, or railways. Then we'll see radial settlement. Radial settlements, streets spread out in all that directions and form a common point with houses along with them giving a star-like appearance. In that radial settlement, houses spread in all over the directions, and it is called that radial settlement. In all directions, they are making houses. Circular settlement. In a circular settlement, houses are built in a circular pattern around the sea, around the lake or pond, and these like oases around, and these settlements have areas have scarce water. So houses are built around the pond or lake in a circular pattern. It is called that circular settlement. Then we'll see that urban settlement. Urban settlement include that towns and cities, and majority of the population is there. It is involved in the non-agriculture. In towns, there are more that settlement and many people are living. This is mostly in towns and cities, urban settlement. People are connected with the non-agriculture occupations like industry, trade, commerce, and business. So, in administration, this all work they are involved. But agriculture, the less people are involved. They are not connected with agriculture occupation in urban areas. They have a great population in urban, and plenty of that amenities are there. The main function they perform in urban settlement are classified into three or more different types. So there are administrative towns. Towns from where the government working, all the administration work of whole that town or city or country is going on, that is called that administrative town. These places where the seats of that administration and trade, economic, commerce, business, and they are not only include that capital cities, but also that includes many urban that centers of all countries. They also include many urban centers of all countries, and the important administrative areas of all countries are connected with the urban and administrative towns, like that Delhi, Mumbai in India, then London in UK, and Washington in USA. Industrial town. Cities and towns in which industries are set up and they provide that production and that manufacturing work is going on of that raw materials, goods, qualities of good, and are called that industrial town. And in these towns, I mean, manufacturing work and the production work will be or is going on. That is called the industries town. In short, industries are settled in this industrial town for manufacturing and production of goods. Some examples are there. They are Bokaro, then Jamshedpur. That are the towns. That are the industrial towns. Cultural and religious town. Towns or religious towns of religion and culture are called that religious or cultural towns. And few examples are there: Prayagraj, Allahabad, Ayodhya, Santiniketan, and Varanasi. These are called religious or cultural towns. Defense town. Centers for military or that military activity or headquarters are there who defend them from us, from the enemies, and like dockyards and air bases and radars are called that defend towns. Some border states are there. Some examples are there, that is called Ambala, Agra, Meerut. They are called that defense towns. So that defense towns are there for military towns, and it is near the border of any state or country. Residential town. Residential towns are mostly meant to provide at residence to the people. For example, Chhattisgarh, India, and Richmond in London. Port and mining towns. These are the cities and towns have developed near the mining areas, and areas around the large part of area is near that rivers or seas, and large part of the cities are used in mining area around that large port of that Dhanabad, and in India, Johannesburg in South Africa are examples of mining town. And these are the cities or towns that have developed near the mining areas, and most of the part are used for mining. So these are the mining towns. So these are the settlement of urban. It is divided into different categories, and that rural settlement and urban settlement both are different from each other. I hope you understand this all well. Thank you, children. Bye.